So we've been talking about matter. Now we're going to talk about energy. Energy is a fundamental part of physical and chemical change. Most changes are driven by energy. So we need to do some defining. Energy is the capacity to do work. And then we have to define what is work. In science, work is defined as the action of a force through a distance. So here's an illustration of a man pushing a box. He's applying force to the box and he's moving the box to a different location. That fits the scientific definition of work. Okay? There's a soap dispenser here and I'm pushing it across the bench. I just did work. Now, did I specifically get paid for that? No. Money has nothing to do with the scientific definition of work. So then energy is the capacity to do that work. There are different types of energy. I told you, we like to classify things. So two broad categories are kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy is the energy associated with motion. Something in motion has kinetic energy. Potential energy is associated with the position of the object or with its composition. So in this illustration, we have a 10 kilogram weight sitting on top of this building. It's not moving. It doesn't have much kinetic energy, but it has potential energy, because if you give that a nudge, what's going to happen? It's going to fall. And as it falls and comes closer to the ground, its potential energy is decreasing. But what's happening to the speed as it falls? It's going faster, right? As it falls, the potential energy from being above the surface of the earth decreases because it's getting closer to the surface. But its speed increases, and so its kinetic energy increases. What happens to all that energy when it hits the ground? It hits hard, right? And it kind of depends on what's down there. Is it going to break the concrete? But that energy goes somewhere, and it's not always obvious. Oftentimes that energy is dispersed as heat, which is a different kind of kinetic energy. We call that thermal energy. Thermal energy is associated with the temperature of an object. It's a type of kinetic energy because it comes from the movement of the particles. So remember I said in the solid state, the particles are still moving. You guys are all moving. And so heating up this solid state of students would be you guys getting all agitated, all antsy, which tends to happen towards the end of lecture. And you're fidgeting more, but if we got really excited, we could be chair dancing or something, right? Not moving relative to each other, but moving a lot. So that would be a hot, solid, higher kinetic energy, because thermal energy is the individual motion of the particles, and that corresponds to temperature. So when that weight crashes into the ground, the energy has to go somewhere, and it often goes into heat. Energy is also conserved. We talked about mass being conserved. There's also a law of conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. You can change energy from one form to another. You can change potential into kinetic energy. You can transfer energy from one object to another. You take a glass of warm water and you put some ice cubes in it. The thermal energy from the water goes into the ice cubes, warms them up, which is cooling down the water. It can be transferred. But the total quantity of energy is constant. What we observe is that objects that have high potential energy tend to be unstable, like that weight sitting on top of the building. They tend to be unstable. A 10 kilogram weight sitting on the ground is not unstable. It's hard to fall off the ground, right? So there's another type of energy, chemical potential energy, and this arises from the interactions between particles within a substance. Those particles have charges, and it's the electrostatic attractions between the particles that cause chemical potential energy. Can't remember what's on the next slide. Yeah, okay, this works. So here's a picture of a car. We got gasoline in the gas tank. Gasoline has high potential energy, high chemical potential energy, because of the interactions between the substances, between the particles. When you ignite that in the presence of oxygen, it explodes, releasing its stored chemical potential energy. The engine in your car uses that transformation, takes that energy and translates it into movement of your car. So we take the chemical potential energy in the gasoline and we convert it into forward motion of the car. Now, that does not happen with 100% efficiency. What happens to the engine as the car runs? It gets warm, right? In fact, it gets downright hot. You can easily burn yourself touching an engine that's been running for a while. Why is it hot? Because in the transformation of energy from the chemical potential energy to the kinetic energy movement of the car, some of the energy is lost. It's lost in terms of not being useful anymore, but it is still there. That energy is turned into heat, which just gets dissipated into the environment. So we've got some of the released energy from that is harnessed to do work, and the rest of it is wasted, but still present. So what we observe is that systems with high potential energy tend to change in a direction that lowers their potential energy, and that causes a release of energy into the surroundings.